Okay, hello, my friends. So I'm doing this masterclass a little bit differently because I actually have time today. It's the holiday, and it's the middle of the day, obviously, but I don't like scheduling my live trainings when some people are still working. So I wanted to record this so that I can post it into the group and on YouTube because it's a topic that, in my opinion, does not get enough attention. It's something that is so unbelievably important to our health, metabolically, physically, emotionally, mentally. And I don't think it gets enough attention on the interwebs for all of the things that it actually does for us. And let me ask you something. If if I told you that there was one thing that's absolutely free that can improve your fat loss, it can help to regulate your hormones, it can assist with reducing cravings, it will improve your mood, it will support your muscle recovery or help you build more muscle, it can lower your inflammation and slow aging. But most people are sabotaging it every single night. It's not a peptide. I know you expect that from me, right? It's not a supplement. It's not certain macros. It's sleep. And I'm going to say this loud for the people in the back. You cannot out diet poor sleep. You can't out train poor sleep. And you certainly can't out supplement poor sleep. Because if your sleep is broken, your metabolism is going to follow right behind it. As a coach, I see this very, very, very frequently. People who reach out to me, we have discovery calls. They have just tried all the things, they've tried everything, and they just can't seem to budge from a stall that they are in, or they always regain the weight back and they don't understand why. Clients who are on GLP-1s, struggling with food noise coming back. And when we dig in and go through the check-in that they do with me, their sleep has declined. When women who are perimenopausal wake up at, 2:47 in the morning, wired and completely exhausted, I've been there. I get that. Night shift workers, especially people who work graves, feeling like no matter what they do, they're always hungry. They always have these horrible cravings. Sleep is not a passive activity, believe it or not. Sleep is actually actively repairing us. And I'm going to kind of simplify what happens when we sleep. Because let me share my screen here. Sleep is not just like one block of unconsciousness that we all go through. It's actually cycles. So let me get this open to the right thing. So it'll share. Sorry, it's early, guys. Even though it's noon, it's early. So as you can see, there are stages of our sleep. Again, cycles. And every night you go through 4 active stages of actual sleep. I know there's 5 on this, little thing that I've got here, but I wanted to show you the difference between what awake is as opposed to asleep. So we have stage 1, which is that drowsy phase, or we'll say the pre phase, whatever. So it's that stage, 5 to 10 minutes before you actually fall asleep, where it's like you're kind of in and out, and you're like, yep, if I take one deep breath here, I'm done. And that lasts roughly 5 to 10 minutes. So then the actual first stage of sleep is light sleep right here. And that lasts approximately 20 minutes. It's our transition stage. Okay. We're drifting into sleep, but we can still be wakened very easily, like a dog licking its paws. That's something I go through. Tell me I'm not alone. But your brain, the activity starts slowing down. And that's, again, light sleep is about 20 minutes. The second stage of sleep, actual sleep, is moderate sleep. And that one lasts, sorry, this little bar's in my way. There we go. 10 to 20 minutes. This is what stabilizes us. It's the stabilization stage where our heart rate slows down, our body temperature drops, and our nervous system shifts from go, 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 go to, okay, it's time for us to just chill out and repair now. And this is also, which I think is fascinating, where our memories start to consolidate. So this 10 to 20 minute period here of stage 2 of active sleep. Stage 3, on here it says stage 4, is deep sleep, our slow wave sleep. This is the stage that matters. This is where growth hormone is released. So, you know how we say that muscles built while you rest? There you go. The muscle tissues that you may have inflamed or torn or whatever, while working out, this is when they repair, again, helping with muscle growth. Our immune function will strengthen during this phase of sleep. Blood sugar starts to regulate, and generally inflammation decreases during this phase of sleep. This is our metabolic healing phase. And you see, this is the one that lasts for 30 minutes. This is the really important one. If you are trying to burn fat, build muscle, recover from your training, help to regulate your hormones, whether you're a male or a female, or heal your gut, this stage matters the most. And then the next stage, stage number 4, is REM, rapid eye movement. Everybody hears about REM sleep, right? It's our dream sleep. This is why we've got that rapid eye movements, because this is when we're dreaming. But it's more than just dreams that are happening. This is where, again, fascinating, our emotional processing happens. Learning integrates. Your nervous system is allowed to kind of recalibrate. It's basically like brain repair at this phase, the REM stage, the REM cycle. And you cycle through all 4 of these stages, on here it shows 2 through 5, but you cycle through all of these stages every 90 minutes. And you need multiple cycles every single night. So if you're only sleeping 4 to 5 hours, you're not just tired when you wake up, you are cutting off entire repair cycles within your body. So how does our sleep actually impact our health? I am talking about all these amazing things it does and how we need to make sure that we're getting our 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep and fat loss. This is probably the biggest one, the biggest complaint that people have, especially females. One night of bad sleep is going to raise your cortisol. It's going to lower your insulin sensitivity. It is going to increase the ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, and it's going to decrease our leptin, which is that satiety hormone. So, what does that mean? You wake up hungry, you crave sugar, and you feel less satisfied even after you eat. That is not a willpower thing. That is just our biology. Now, sleep and people who are potentially on a GLP-1. If somebody who's taking one of these medications says just out of nowhere, my food noise is really loud. All of a sudden, it's really loud. The first thing I look at in their check-in is their sleep. Because if it looks like they've had poor sleep, that tells me everything I need to know. Sleep deprivation is going to increase activation of your brain's reward center. So sugar is going to become so much more appealing to us because we need that dopamine. We need that reward. Your impulse control is going to drop. Have you ever noticed that you just don't make the best decisions when you're really tired, you're underslept? And of course, your stress is going to rise. Higher stress generally leads to, again, poor sleep. And even the best medication is not going to override a chronically stressed out nervous system. And now let's talk about perimenopause and sleep. In perimenopause, our progesterone drops, which that normally helps you feel calm and sleepy. Our cortisol becomes more erratic. Our night sweats that we can get can actually fragment our REM sleep. And we ladies wake up freaking exhausted. But at the same time, we can't fall back asleep. It's like we're wired. That 2 to 3 a.m. window that we end up waking up, it's usually cortisol. Fantastic, right? And aging. Let's talk about how sleep and aging kind of coexist. During our deep sleep, the really important one, right? Your brain activates something called the glymphatic system. It literally washes metabolic waste out of your brain. Pretty cool, right? I think of a pressure washer. Amyloid proteins associated with cognitive decline are cleared during deep sleep. Sleep is basically anti-aging. So why is it then with all of this knowledge and all of these things that have been discovered over the past, we'll say 20 years, why is it that we are struggling so much more now than ever before? Well, we were not designed for modern light and the overstimulation that we have. And the things that tend to disrupt sleep most are blue light after sunset. So doing this all night while the TV is on and maybe an iPad is going and you're laying in bed. Does this look familiar to anybody? Eating late. That's why most of my clients are finished eating by 6 p.m. because that gives them a good at least 2 to 3 hour window before they go to bed. Alcohol. Sorry, guys. Alcohol does not make you rest better. It actually makes you sleep worse. Blood sugar crashes. So if you are eating something that's elevating your blood sugar or your blood sugar is elevated all day, and while you're sleeping, all of a sudden it crashes, that's causing you to wake up. Chronic stress. If you are stressed out, you are not sleeping. I talked about already the doom scrolling at night. Working nights. That completely alters your circadian rhythm. You have no circadian rhythm because you're waking up when it's getting dark and you're going to bed when it's starting to get light, right? And overtraining, believe it or not, overtraining will affect your sleep, not just because you have sore muscles, but all of the other things that are happening in your body. And then high evening cortisol, which again, you can't stay in fight or flight mode all day and then expect your sleep at night to be restorative. That just, it doesn't happen. So, what can we do to improve our sleep cycles? Well, this isn't the fun part. This is basically the practicality of the matter. And we'll break it into five different anchors. Okay. Number one is going to be the circadian anchor. Get morning sunlight within 10 minutes of waking, if possible. I know right now, this time of year, it's very difficult, especially if you wake up at 5 a.m. and the sun's not coming up until 7:30. Obviously, that's a little harder to do. But when the sun comes up, get outside. Get outside in the sunlight for 10 minutes. It's going to help your internal clock. Some people actually have lights that will mimic sunlight that they can use indoors if the sun's not up because they're waking up so early. Um, you want to go to bed basically at the same time every night. Our son will send us a text message at 7:15 to see if we're still awake because he knows we are TV off and in bed by 7:30. Well, 8 o'clock. TV off and then in bed by 8 o'clock. Your body loves rhythm. Loves the rhythm. So try to keep the same sleep schedule even on the weekends. And if that means waking up at 5 a.m. on the weekends, it means waking up at 5 a.m. The second is to stabilize your blood sugar. Protein, protein, protein at dinner. If you eat dinner, make sure protein is prevalent and it is the majority of what you're eating. Don't go to bed starving. If you're new to intermittent fasting or you're doing an extended fast, this is a reason I don't necessarily care for extended fasts because it can totally muck up your sleep. And you need to avoid heavy sugar at night. If you're going to have sugar, you're going to have carbs, earlier in the day is better because these blood sugar crashes, again, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, are going to wake you up. It's your body saying, hey, whoa, something's going on, wake up. And then what happens? You have to go eat something to get your blood sugar stabilized again. The third step is a nervous system downshift, essentially. You must signal safety before you can sleep. So some people will do exercises, not actual exercises, but put your legs up a wall. Lay on the floor and have your legs up the wall for 5 minutes. Slow breathing, nasal, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do that while you've got your legs up on the wall. Two things, right? Journaling. So many of my clients have started journaling at night, and it has made a huge difference for them being able to sleep better in the evenings. No fights with your significant other, with your kids, with your family, or no intense conversations late at night. Sometimes they can be uncontrollable, but you need to make sure you have the most peaceful environment possible for your body to feel like it can relax enough to fall asleep. You cannot go from chaos to a deep sleep instantly. It's just not going to happen. Fourth step, light hygiene. And I don't mean like light hygiene, like lights. You need to dim your lights after sunset. Again, our son will make fun of us because he'll come over to our house at night and our house is dark because we don't have all of the unnatural light happening. Avoid the overhead lighting at night. If you need to, you can wear those goofy yellow glasses. The lights the artificial lights that we're constantly exposed to basically confuse your brain. But if you're doing it where, okay, lights out in the house when it's getting dark or lights dimmed in the house when it's dark, tells your brain, hey, it's day, hey, it's night. It sounds silly, but it actually does work. And then step number 5 is recovery support. So a lot of people will recommend that you have magnesium glycinate before you go to bed. That's it. Magnesium glycinate helps a lot of people be able to sleep. Don't confuse it with magnesium citrate. Just saying. Your bedroom needs to be a cool, calm, peaceful, dark space. If there is clutter in your room, if you are a messy person and you have a messy bedroom, if there are things just kind of all over the place, if you have artificial light, even alarm clock light will affect your body's ability to get to sleep. And if you need to, white noise, if it helps. Some people will listen to meditation apps, but those shut themselves off after a specific amount of time. So allow your body to, again, give it the support it needs to recover while you sleep. Lifestyle is first, always. Sorry, my phone rang and it distracted me. So I want you to remember, if anything, I want you to remember this from this class. If your fat loss is stalled, if your cravings feel like they are out of control, if your hormones feel like they're just completely chaotic, if your recovery is slow, look at sleep before you blame anything else. Sleeping is not weakness, it is not laziness. It's actually very strategic for our bodies. And you don't necessarily have a motivation problem if your sleep is garbage. You probably have a recovery problem. And if you are investing in GLP-1s, peptides, strength training, coaching, but completely ignoring your sleep, you are building a house without a foundation. And how well do you think that that's going to hold up? So if you guys need a little bit more personalized help or want to kind of build a metabolic plan that includes sleep optimization, hormone support, strength training, your nervous system repair, shoot me a message or even comment on the YouTube replay or the group, the word sleep, and I will help to walk you through the next steps. So I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of your Monday. Happy President's Day if you are able to celebrate it and you have the day off. And I will talk to you later. Bye.